façon d'aimer doudou. C'est pas gentil, vraiment fatigue.
Nadina yo yo.
(9 p.m. sharp East African time from wherever part of the country you are watching us from. Welcome so much to News at 9 as we also come to you live here from Boss TV in Mombasa. My name is SHADRACK and my sign language interpreter is Felix Otieno, and together we are set to update you on the news that we've entirely sourced in the day. Now, we kickstart from the corridors of the courts, and Magistrate Rita Awai has today sentenced 5 activists and a conductor to 6 months probation without any fine after the court found them guilty of 3 accounts which are prohibited gathering, failing to keep physical distance, and failing to wear a face mask when the activists were protesting in 2020 against corruption after a corruption that they say was due to the theft within the COVID-19 funds. Sharon Nyakundi opens up our bulletin with the story.
The Mombasa court has today found 5 activists with 1 conductor guilty in a 30-second ruling which was done by Mombasa Magistrate Rita Awai today in the morning.
The 1st, 4th, 5th and 6th accused persons are sentenced each to serve 6 months probation each count. The sentences will run concurrently. They have 14 days right of appeal, warrants to issue against the 2nd and the 3rd accused person.
The lawyer says that they are moving to the Court of Appeal to suspend the judgment and they will not be intimidated with the sort of judgment.
That our objective as civil society organizations in the coast and in this region will not be intimidated an inch with this sort of judgment. We say it is a clear perspective that we do not agree with that judgment. I know people think acting outside prison is a good thing, but the criminal record has been put on people who stood up for Kenya. Judicial independence must come with judicial accountability. We are moving to the Court of Appeal to suspend that judgment.
Tutasimama kidete kwa pamoja na human rights defenders kwa sababu tunajua haki, tuko na haki na katiba inaeleza wazi kuhusu haki na kufuatizia pengine kama kutakuwa na ubadilifu wa mambo.
We cannot get one police officer, and that police officer says rightfully that I was not at the scene where those things happened. And therefore he came to court with hearsay.
We were not even aware of the case. And our lawyer wrote to DPP explaining that we were not aware of the case. And she is very easy to issue warrant of arrest. This double standard on the judiciary must stop.
One of the activists says that the court conviction of their colleagues shows how the constitution is not followed due to the ruling that was done to the 5 activists.
The conviction of our colleagues just shows how this country is retrogressing in terms of, upholding the constitution as a sanctity of this country.
Reporting for Boss TV, I'm Sharon Nyakundi.
Adutana
Meru University of Science and Technology Council and senior managers held a joint retreat to evaluate the university's performance and management with an intention of improving their programs in the institution. The meeting was chaired by Principal Secretary at the State Department of University Education and Research, Mr. Simon Nabukwesi, at Beach Resort Hotel in Mombasa County. Take a look.
Principal Secretary, State Department for University Education and Research, Mr. Simon Nabukwesi, during the Meru University Science and Technology Council's meeting, said that the getaway was meant to see ways in which the institution could be at par with other major competitive science and technology institutions around the world and meet the current demands of the growing market.
This workshop is actually very important, it's very timely in terms of thinking about access to education, to quality education, relevance of that quality education, competitiveness in terms of empowerment of students through good teaching, good programs, and mentorship programs, which are very much in place in Meru University of Science and Technology.
He said that the University Council is in search of public and private partners who will be of assistance in the execution of their 2019-2024 strategic plans, including exploration and transformation of various faculties in the university.
They are looking, for example, at public-private partnership. They are looking at implementation of their strategic plan 2019-2024. They are looking at research and innovation, commercialization, and so on and so forth. And they have participants virtually from across the world so that they learn from the best practice in the world to make this university globally more competitive.
Other aspects of the Council's discussion was access to quality education and its relevance, as well as empowering students through mentorship programs and improving the university's finance management by adapting a proper audit system.
As PS mentioned, we have invited other bodies like audit to give us some training on how to make our audit and other finances management to the standards that is required of the government.
How are we teaching? How are we educating our students? How are we doing research? And what kind of relationship, partnership do we need to create so that the Meru University of Science and Technology can be a university of choice for all the stakeholders?
Cliff Mark, Boss TV.
Right, thank you so much, Clifford Mark, for that report on the Meru University retreat. And now let's shift gears into another matter. And Garissa, Isiolo, Lamu, Marsabit, and Tana River are among us counties expected to benefit from the 1.2 billion water project after a long spell of water shortage. This 5-year project is facilitated by the government of Denmark and is set to benefit close to 2,500 households. Take a look.
Denmark is very proud to be part of SWASA, the program that we have launched today. For this particular program, Denmark is going to be investing 1.2 billion.
Speaking during the signing program, she said that Danida was keenly to support water and sanitation and climate change programs in the country. According to Elizabeth Mattioli, the team leader of Danida, the 5-year program will start in early, targeting the marginalized area. She also said that the donor country had previously funded 80 counties at a tune of 3.5 billion, but the current program had been scaled down to 1.2 billion.
The program is going to be 5 years, and we kickstart it in July of this year. And we are hoping this particular program is going to support at least 2,500 households in the 6 ASAL counties that are part of this program, and at least 40,000 people can be able to have better access to water and sanitation service, actually in 8 counties. And then in this particular program, we decided to scale down because we are not the only actor in the water sector. There are other development partners who have been in there, and we felt that the 2 counties that we phased out from were receiving already some very good support.
On his part, the CAS for water, Dr. Andrew, was full of praise for the water project as it came at a time parts of the country were facing drought. He also said that government was currently undertaking 685 water projects in the country.
Water, as you know, has been a major source of conflict, and we've recognized that. In fact, apart from what Danida is doing now, we've built 3 peace dams in Turkana, which are ready in Masabit, and also in Pokot. And this
Fahim Twaha, Lamu governor, noted that the country faced water challenges, adding that the 5-year program would address the current challenges. He added that the ongoing capital project around the Lamu port would see an increase in population and hence demand for more water.
We have a rising population. Some of it is due to natural increase, and some of it is due to immigration. People are being attracted by the new port. So the need for water will increase manifold.
Trustee in the fund, Fred Ojasaya, said that the project would address the issue of water, sanitation, and climate change.
Focus on climate change issues, but more particularly in terms of the key issues to be addressed. We are looking at sanitation issues, improving access. We are looking at improving access to water. We are also looking at enhancing conservation or improvement of water resource management.
Reporting for Boss News, I'm Muhammad Mondao.
Former Energy CS Peter Munyes has received a major boost on his quest to become the next Turkana governor after a section of Turkana leaders led by Turkana Senator Malaki Ekal endorsed him for the position. Present was also the DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa.
Speaking in Lodwar, former Petroleum and Minerals Minister John Munyes has pledged to liberate the local community from poverty, improve health sector, solve water and hunger problems, as well as create employment opportunities for the youth.
Kiti cha gavana ili tusaidie Waturkana, tutatue shida ya maji Lodwar. Tutatue image ya Waturkana ya njaa ya umasikini. Nikiona hapo Lodwar shida ya maji, hatuna mabarabara, umasikini, kina mama hapa hivi wanafanya kazi ya mboga, hawatapata doloni ndogo ya kuweka maisha yao mbele. Vijana wana kazi. Wazee hapa unaona wazee wengi hata matibabu hana. Hospitali ya Lodwar, mtaniambia kama ni ukweli, madawa iko? Unaweza kupata matibabu hapa?
On the other hand, leader of the new formed DAPK Eugene Wamalwa, who is also the defense minister, has commended Munyes for working with the government and his experience will enable him to fulfill his promises.
Amuka wapitishe Munyes kuwa the second governor wa Turkana. Huyu Munyes amebarikiwa sana. Yeye ukitaka kujua serikali itakuwa wapi, angalia pale Munyes atakuwa. Sawa sawa? Serikali ya Kibaki alikuwa ndani hakuwa? Si alikuwa ndani na Wamalwa na Kibaki? Kwa serikali ya Uhuru amekuwa ndani hajakuwa? Sasa 2022 watu wa Turkana pale Munyes yuko, haki ya Mungu, hapa ndio serikali iko.
Reporting for Boss TV, Amanita Auma.
As the debate on the cost of living takes shape in the country, Lugari Member of Parliament Ayub Savula has said that MPs from Azimio la Umoja Brigade will not allow their counterparts from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance to suspend the budget bill in Parliament next week on grounds that it is a burden to the taxpayer. The Lugari legislature was speaking during the handing over ceremony of Bishop Kadima of the Bungoma constituency.
Savula, who is the deputy leader of the DAP-K party, has stated that he will never allow the Azimio la Umoja or the Kenya Kwanza movements to block the passing of the budget with the parliament next week.
In parliament, we have allocated enough money, 200 billion, under the office of the president, to ensure we have a smooth transition. And will not allow sycophants from UDA to bring a parallel budget in parliament. So when you are discussing this budget from next week, we shall deal with UDA and we shall ensure that we defeat them on the floor of the House. Because this is a transition budget, and you don't want side shows of Ruto. If they are promising a hustler budget, let them wait after the general election is when they can make their budget. This is Uhuru's budget. Let him clear his economic agenda using the final budget he has.
Savula also demanded that the leaders who are suspected of involvement in the corruption scandals to be sued by the parliamentary committee and withdrawn from holding public offices in the country before the completion of their cases.
If you are holding an office as an accounting officer and there's a mess in that parastatal or there's a mess in that department you're holding, when it comes to parliament, the recommendation previously was that you should not hold a public office. A public office includes vying for the seat of an MP, vying for the seat of a governor, vying for the seat of a senator. Those are public offices. The recommendation was that you should be banned from holding a public office until you are cleared by the High Court. So we are saying PIC and Public Accounts Committee on the current scandals that are in Parliament, bring those recommendations to the plenary and we shall pass. They should not hold public office until they are cleared by the High Court. So on the issue prevailing in Parliament now, that should be the trend. The report should be done, investigation should be done thoroughly, the report should be brought to Parliament. If you are in charge of an institution where money has been embezzled, carry your cross. We shall recommend and we shall pass as plenary that you should not hold public office.
Savula said this in Mumias after attending the official ceremony to officially dedicate the bishop of the elected Catholic Church in the Diocese of Bungoma, Mark Kadima wa Mukoya. Reporting for Boss TV News, my name is Miriam Diti.
Now, from the budget bill debate, now let's look at another sad story here. And a family in Mombasa County, specific from Jomvu constituency, are seeking medical help for their 4-year-old son who is suffering from a heart condition. The family is calling up on well-wishers to come and aid them to raise 2.5 million shillings for an operation to be done in India. Our reporter Njeri Masi visited the family and she has filed the following report.
When Mika was born in the Wallis family, it was a blessing and he brought a lot of joy to the family, bearing that Susan had tried to conceive 6 other times with no success.
Nilikuwa kwanza na shida ya fibroids. Nikakuwa nikipata mimba zinatoka. Nikafikisha mpaka 6. Sasa nilipofikisha kama mimba 6 zikitoka hata kuna zenye ilifika mahali karibu ziniue. Nikienda hospitali nikiwaambia nataka labda family planning na wanakataa. Ananiambia hatuwezi kukupa family planning na wewe uko na hizo fibroids, mpaka hizo fibroids mwanzo tudinazo na kudinazo hatuwezi zitoa, jutozatoa zikatempa na kizazi.
It is a joy to every parent to watch their child grow healthy, but this might not be the case to Susan and Wally, who have an ailing son. According to the doctors, the condition facing baby Mika is very rare and needs a specialist to do a surgery and correct the heart and nerve condition.
Shida ya upande wake wa katikati, ambapo roho yake iko kidogo kwenye upande wa katikati, uko hapa katikati hapa roho. Alafu pia roho yenyewe iko na shimo ambayo tuliambiwa kuwa inaweza kujifunga baada ya muda fulani ama baada ya miaka kidogo, lakini sasa tulipoenda iskani ya pili tukaonekana kuwa shimo yenyewe imefunguka, yani inazidi kupanuka. Na pia ako na tatizo fulani pia la inaitwaje, kitovu chake ambacho chetu kiko ndani yake imetokea nje, ambao shida yenyewe inaitwa kisayansi omphalocele. Shida yenyewe kuwa ni kama partly ni kama hernia ya matumbo yale. So tulikuwa tunaenda hospitali mbalimbali, lakini mwishowe Kenyatta wakatuambia kuwa mtoto itafaa ama itakuwa vizuri afanye upasuaji nchini India, kwa sababu upasuaji wake ni very very delicate, ama matibabu yake itakuwa very delicate, kwa sababu sio kesi ambayo inaonekana yani tutasema kwa urahisi, yani ni kitu yani ni very rare case yani. So inataka matibabu kwa specialized matibabu.
Since the doctors who have been seeing him presumed that the holes forming in his heart would close as he grows, but to their surprise the holes are still expanding, which is dangerous to his life.
Kuzaa sitaisahau, nilikuwa naumwa hiyo siku, lakini nilizaliza hiyo siku kwa saa 6:05 mtoto akatolewa vizuri. Kutolewa ndo pale akasemekana, nurse wakanambia mtoto wako ana shida. Basi nikashtuka, shida gani? Akanionyesha, akanambia ndo huyu, lakini acha tumpeleke NPU, baadaye tutakueleza zaidi. Nikashtuka, akasema ana shida gani? Akanambia usishtuke, mtoto anakuwa tu sawa nini, wewe omba tu Mungu. Akamwambia sawa. Ndo wakachukua mtoto akampeleka NPU, akanishughulikia. Kamaliza, ndo baadaye nikapumzika, ndo akaniambia sasa nafaa kwenda kumuona mtoto NPU. Ndo kwenda kuona mtoto NPU, nikapata mtoto amelazwa kwa zile vitanda vya watoto zile. Ndo kaangalia mtoto, naona mtoto ni kama hapumui, yuko tu ni mapaipu mingi. Nikaanza tu kulia, anasema Mungu ni nini jaribu napitia. Nimetafuta mtoto miaka mingi, ndio nimempata, nimepitia hiyo, watoto wanatoka, alafu ndo huyu sasa nimemzaa, bado ana shida hii. Kuuliza daktari shida, anakuambia wao wenyewe ni rare, wajaiona kesi kama hii, labda YouTube nini. Seka kwa ni ngumu, lakini kwa manasi madaktari wana saa zote nini encourage nini, usikufe moyo, Mungu kama amekupatia na sababu yake nini. Ndo pale kuomba tu. Ndo pale akakaa, tulikalishwa kama Kenyatta mwezi mmoja wakimwangalia nini. Alizaliwa na hiyo roho haiko mahali penye inafaa kuwa, iko katikati. Sasa kwa katikati wakasema wao hawezi fanya surgery kutoa hiyo roho penye iko aike penye yafaa. Sasa wanafaa ipate specialist. Sasa wacha watafute mwenye anaenza. Ndo pale akafanywa scan nini, kufanywa scan zaidi, ndo pale akapatikana kumbe hata si roho pia kwa pale iko mbali, pia ina shimo. Kupatikana neo shimo, wakasema lakini anaweza akikuwa inaweza rudi mahali pake. Sasa kusema inaweza rudi mahali pake, ndo wampatie muda wamsome mwanzo. Ndo ile kumpa muda msome, ndo saizi amemaliza mwaka na mwezi. Amemaliza mwaka na mwezi, ndo hiyo tumeenda hizo scan zingine, imepatikana shimo imezidi kukua kubwa, na ni kama imeanza nyingine pia kando. Sasa imekuwa ni ngumu sana sasa ndo akaenda kaongea na daktari, huyo daktari mkubwa wa Kenyatta, akaongea na daktari wa nje wa India.
Despite being a jovial child, Mika has not had an opportunity to have a normal life as a kid, since due to his condition, his guardian or parent must be on the lookout for him, which has denied him a right to play like other children do.
Kama seasoning, si kila wakati. Sasa unamwona ako active, anacheza kila kitu, ako sawa. Baada ya miezi 2-3 amlali. Waumwa hawezi jua yule mwana wapi. Ukienda kumwambia daktari akwambia sasa unaona hizi situation yako nazo, hatuwezi kukuambia ati ni mali fulani exactly, lakini waumwa tu, yasumbua, yali tuampatia tu hizo madawa nini.
The family is now pleading with well-wishers and donors to help them raise a total amount of 2.5 million Kenyan shillings, which is required to make their trip to India for surgery a success, since due to their financial constraints facing them, they are not in a position to raise the money.
Mimi naomba mtu yoyote yule ana uwezo atusaidie na pesa, ama vyovyote vile anaweza tusaidia tu, mtoto wangu apate usaidizi.
Ndugu zanguni, dada zanguni, mimi naomba usaidizi wenu, sababu kifedha mimi sijiwezi, na tulikuwa tunaomba sababu kule hiyo hospitali tuliyopata tumepatiwa yani tutasemaje, tumepatiwa hiyo ultimatum kuwa hii hela itamsaidia mtoto na kuna chance kwa mtoto ataweza kurudi maisha yake ya kawaida na maisha yake mazuri. So tulikuwa naomba tu kama unaweza nisaidia ama usaidizi wenu.
Bearing Mika was a blessing to Maina's family, but now their happiness is slowly being dimmed away by a heart condition facing their child, and they're now pleading with well-wishers and donors to come through and help them raise the money required to make their son's condition treatments a success. Njeri Masi, Boss TV, Mombasa.
Indeed, that is an appeal to help there, and of course you can as well do so if you wish and feel pity for the 4-year-old boy. Thank you so much also to Njeri Masi for having that report. Now to some sporting before we call it a day here, and the Kenya Coast National Polytechnic football players hope to grab the crown on Ketisa Games set to kickstart on Wednesday in Embu County. In the last season of the tournament in the soccer category, Kisii emerged victors and gave other teams quite a challenge. However, the Kenya Coast Polytechnic have expressed anticipation of strong opposition from the Kisii and Meru teams, but they are well prepared. This is at least according to Scarlett Jara, who is the head coach. And the Ketisa tournament involved other games such as volleyball, netball, handball, and others. Take a look.
Kwa majina naitwa Coach Skatel kutoka KCM Poly Football Club. Tumejipanga vizuri, tumekuwa na 3 weeks ya preparation na imekuwa vizuri kabisa, vijana wamecooperate na matumaini tutaleta positive results tukirudi. Majira yako kuna maplayer kama 3 hawataweza kusafiri na sisi juu wameumia na ni key players, but pia watu tumewa replace nao ni watu na waamini na wajua wataenda kufanya kazi nzuri huko. Polytechnic ya kutoka Nairobi niko sure ni vijana wanajua ball na vijana watatusumbua maybe huko kwa tournament, na teams za Western pia zimekuwa zikiperform vizuri kwa hii tournament. So sisi for the first time na tunapeleka timu nzuri. Timu iko prepared, timu imekuwa pamoja, timu wanacheza league pamoja. So matumaini yangu ni kwamba tunaweza kuperform nzuri. Nimeji prepare sana na hizo timu za Western na timu za Nairobi. Hata Meru nimesikia last time walikuwa na timu nzuri. Hopefully wataleta the same team, tuko prepared. Wacha tuende tukacompete. Kwa hiyo tournament kitu wamenipromise vijana wamenipromise wanaenda siku ya mwisho ya game hiyo ya mwisho ya tournament wamenipromise watakuwa hapo. So that means wamenipromise final. Bado hawajaniambia kama wameniambia kwanza tufike final alafu tutaongea hapo tukiapproach hiyo final. Tumepiga friendlies Tumecheza na Mvita Youngster, tumetoka draw ya 0-0. Tumecheza na Tum Dynamos, tukatoka 3-3. Nafikiri game ya mwisho tumecheza na Kostima, wakatufunga 3-2. Ni timu ya NSL, tulienda huko kwa friendly ya mwisho on Saturday asubuhi, wakatufunga 3-2. Lakini kulingana na performance ya team naona wako sawa, wataleta positive results nyumbani.
Kwa majina naitwa James Wahome, captain wa MTTI. Sasa inajulikana kama Kenya Coast National Polytechnic Football Club. Sasa matarajio yetu sasa tukienda tournament zetu za K9 ni kwamba tuenda chukua kombe. Hakuna ingine, hakuna kuwaza, hakuna mambo mingi. Unapata? Hiyo ndio confidence Kenya tuko naye. Tumetrain fresh, wametu prepare fresh kutoka kwa coaches mpaka kwa officials. Sasa tumeenda na confidence ya juu kwamba tukienda kule tuenda tu ku approach kila match na kila game kama finali, kutoka game ya kwanza mpaka game ya mwisho. Weather hiyo tumeweka possibility, lazima weather tatuathiri. Sasa ndio maana yake tumetrain hard, tumeweka effort double katika training. Tumetrain saa 8 kila time asubuhi, kila time tuanini. Tunajua hiyo weather lazima tukifika kule weather itakuwa. Timu last time tukienda K9 kulikuwa timu Kenya ilishinda ni Kisii Polytechnic, na Meru alikuwa anacheza mpira mzuri yani watikitaka. Lakini sasa hivi vile tulikuwa last time na vile tuko sasa hivi, tutaona ni Meru ndo anaweza tupa compare kidogo, lakini vile hiyo confidence yetu sasa iko tutaenda piga mtu.
Right, news done, sports done, and that's where we bring it into a stop here for the news tonight with 31 minutes past 9 p.m. Thank you so much for your viewership. Remember, we'll do appreciate it more if you can check our videos that is on the news on Facebook as well as on YouTube, and do share as widely as possible so as we can get more views and more comments about the same. But let's meet again.